Admiral Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of the Retribution, her weathered hands gripping the command console as the massive human war fleet emerged from hyperspace. Before them stretched the Galactic Council's homeworld of Zentara Prime, its pristine, blue oceans and golden cities gleaming under the light of twin suns. The planet that had once welcomed humanity with open arms now cowered behind hastily erected defense platforms. "Admiral," came the voice of her tactical officer, Commander James. "Rodriguez, we're receiving multiple surrender requests from the Zentarian Defense Fleet. They're requesting immediate ceasefire negotiations." Chun's jaw tightened. 3 months ago, those same Zentarians had sat in the council chambers, nodding solemnly, as they voted to exclude Earth from the Galactic Trade Consortium. They had called humanity too aggressive and unsuitable for civilized commerce. The betrayal had come after decades of faithful service, after humanity had pulled their civilizations from the brink of extinction during the Void War. No response. Chun ordered, "Continue with the approach." The human fleet was a sight that had never been witnessed in galactic history. 2,000 vessels of pure human engineering stretched across space-sleek destroyers with reinforced hulls, massive dreadnoughts bristling with kinetic cannons, and carrier ships launching swarms of fighter craft. But it wasn't just the numbers that made the Galactic Council tremble. It was what these ships represented. While other species had focused on energy shields and plasma weapons, humans had taken a different path. They had perfected kinetic warfare, turning simple mass and velocity into devastating weapons. Their ships were armored fortresses designed to absorb punishment while delivering overwhelming firepower. Most importantly, they were crewed by beings who viewed warfare not as a necessity, but as an art form. "Sir," Rodriguez continued, his voice carrying a hint of awe, "long-range sensors are detecting the entire Galactic Council fleet massing behind Zentara Prime. Looks like they're making their stand here." Chun nodded grimly. Ambassador Veltar of the hegemony had made it clear during their last transmission, humanity would be dealt with permanently for their insubordination. The Council had grown fat and complacent during their 1,000 years of peace, forgetting that their prosperity had been built on human sacrifice during the Void War. The communication array crackled to life, and the familiar reptilian features of Council Chancellor Zermo appeared on the main screen. His usually composed demeanor showed cracks of desperation. "Admiral Chun," the Chancellor began, his translator rendering his words in clipped, formal tones. "This aggression is unnecessary. The Council is prepared to discuss Earth's readmission to the Consortium under revised terms." Chun's laugh was cold and sharp. "Chancellor, you had your chance to discuss terms when we saved your civilization from extinction. You had your chance when we shared our medical technology that ended the Red Plague. You even had your chance 3 months ago when we requested a simple review of the trade exclusion." She stepped closer to the view screen, her eyes burning with controlled fury. "Instead, you called us barbarians. You said humans were too violent for civilized society. Well, Chancellor, you're about to learn exactly why that violence kept your people alive." The Chancellor's scales paled visibly. "Admiral, please reconsider. The combined Council fleet numbers over 5,000 vessels. Even with your ... reputation, the mathematics are against you." "Mathematics?" Chun almost smiled. "Chancellor, you're thinking like a civilized being. Let me think like the barbarian you believe me to be." She gestured to Rodriguez, who began transmitting targeting data to the fleet. The human ships moved with predatory grace, forming attack formations that had been refined through countless simulations and actual combat experience. "You see, the problem with your mathematics is that you're counting ships," Chun continued. "But we humans learned long ago that battles aren't won by ships. They're won by the beings who crew them. And every single person in this fleet volunteers to be here, knowing they might die today." The first salvo from the human fleet lit up space like a miniature star. Thousands of kinetic projectiles, each one accelerated to a significant fraction of light speed, tore through the Council's energy shields as if they were tissue paper. The Zentarian defense platforms, marvels of engineering that had taken decades to construct, were reduced to expanding clouds of debris in seconds. "Your people fight because they're ordered to," Chun observed as Council ships began breaking formation. "In panic, my people fight because they choose to. Your people see death as an end. We see it as a price we're willing to pay for what we believe in." The human fighters swept through the Council formation like predators among prey. While alien pilots relied on their ships' automated systems, human pilots flew with an intuitive savagery that their enemies couldn't predict or counter. They took risks that rational beings wouldn't consider, turning their fragility into an N. Advantaged through sheer audacity, Chancellor Zermov watched his fleet dissolve before his eyes. Ships that had never seen combat found themselves outmaneuvered by human crews who had trained for this moment their entire lives. The Council's superior numbers became meaningless as their formations collapsed under the weight of human aggression. "This is madness," the Chancellor finally screamed. "You're destroying everything we've built." "No," Chim replied quietly. "We're showing you what you threw away when you betrayed Earth. For 50 years, humanity served as your shield against the darkness. We bled for your peace, died for your prosperity, and asked for nothing but acceptance in return." She watched as another wave of Council ships tried to retreat, only to find their escape routes cut off by human fast-attack craft. "But you never understood what you really had," she continued. "You thought our violence made us unfit for civilization. You never realized that our violence was what kept your civilization alive. The battle was over in less than 6 hours." The remnants of the Council fleet hung powerless in space, their crews waiting for the death blow that they were certain would come. But Chun surprised them. "All Council vessels, this is Admiral Chun of the Terran Federation. You have 1 standard hour to evacuate your crews to the surface of Zentara Prime. After that, we will claim your ships as reparations for the Void War service that you so easily forgot." She turned back to the Chancellor, whose image flickered. "On the damaged communication array, your Council betrayed Earth because you fear what humans might become," she said. "Today, you learn what humans become when they're betrayed. The choice of what happens next is entirely yours, Chancellor. But remember, we didn't start this war. We're just better at finishing it." As the last Council shuttle departed their abandoned fleet, Chun looked out at the stars beyond Zentara Prime. Somewhere out there, Earth waited for news of victory. The Galactic Council had learned too. Late that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers. It was their willingness to fight for what they believed in, no matter the cost. The war fleet turned toward home, leaving behind a galaxy that would never again underestimate the species they had foolishly cast aside.